I'm delighted to have with us Dave Wooding in the studio. Dave, of course, journalist, commentator. He's been around the political block for, I did look it up, Dave, by the way, 18 decades. You've been covering the Westminster patch.
18 decades.
Beyond.
I'm only 24 as well.
It's only 24. That's unbelievable. How are you, Dave? Good to see you.
Very well. Good to see you, Joe. Good to see you.
Lots going on here, of course, particularly this free speech issue. It's worth having a little listen to a little clip here, because these are under this banner of warnings of blasphemy laws creeping back in after it happened. Let's have a little listen to the moment when this man carried out the act. Here it is.
What's this? Quran is burning. Why you burning the Quran? Quran, terrorist. Terrorist. Go from here. Islam religion of terrorists.
Now, this was a fellow that didn't like Islam, Dave. I think we can safely say that. He wasn't enamoured by the whole faith, the whole religion. He's Turkish-born. His own experience has informed him of that view. That's the one he has. I said at the beginning, you know, probably a half-wit, setting fire to something in public and shouting stuff out, you know, to think there'd be no reaction. But it's the religious bit that's upsetting people, and understandably so.
Yes, I mean, there's two things that strike me about this, Ian. One is, you mentioned before in your preamble that if it was the Bible, would the same person have been dealt with? Would the perpetrator have been dealt with in the same way? The difficulty with this is, I don't think if you burnt a Bible in public, anybody would react to it. I mean, the British people and the Christian people are not as intense about their own faith as many Muslim people are. Yep. So the reaction he made, was it blasphemy in that sense? Because it wasn't a blasphemy. What was it? Religiously aggravated public order offence. Yeah. So it's the old laws of incitement, behaviour likely to cause a breach of the peace, in another phrase. So he was likely to cause a breach of the peace by doing that, but would you be likely to cause a breach of the peace by burning a Bible? Probably not. True. But does that make it a two-tier justice system? That's the question.
Well, and it's the inclusion of the word religious in it, and that's the bit that's got everybody, you know, understandably, at the very least, you know, some people fuming and others just questioning. Well, we don't have a blasphemy law, as we said. New Labour abolished that in 2008. I mentioned the case of Thomas Pooley, who did go to jail for advocating burning Bibles, but it was in 1857. So yeah, it was a while back. Since then, we can find, I promise you, diligently, I've looked, I can't find any case of where somebody has been nabbed or nicked for doing anything to the Bible, but none that, or any other book for that matter. But the religious aspect of this, bearing in mind we've got MPs at the moment, because there's all sorts of laws coming in about, you know, workplace regulations, what you can't say, etc., which in itself is a bit weird that they're kind of even debating this stuff. And you have got MPs standing up, advocate, saying we need a blasphemy law. We want a blasphemy law. We don't want certain religions to be criticised. But
it has to be a blasphemy law for all. If
it would
have
to be,
one.
Wouldn't it?
And then you get into ridiculous situations where people take the Lord's name in vain. Is that blasphemy?
Well, indeed.
I mean, where'd you start? I mean, what puzzles me about this case was that there was no outrage when he did it. Nothing happened on the scene. It was some third party who'd taken a video on their phone and sent it to the police. What are the police doing looking at that? Why didn't they just say, let it go?
Indeed.
It's created more publicity by reacting in this way. I think also it's creep. That's what people are talking about, legal creep. It's the foot in the door of a blasphemy rule.
100%.
And you know, where does it lead to now? Well, Nick Timothy, the Conservative MP, I hear, is going to produce a law next week or attempt to push a law through, which will protect free speech against any religious faiths in this way. I mean, it's fascinating that the police have done this, and you can see why people are getting outraged about it.
Indeed, and of course, you know, religion has been, you know, satirised and lampooned. You think of the old Monty Python stuff, Life of Brian. I mean, that caused a heck of a scene at the time, didn't it?
Well, by the same token, that is an outrage.
Indeed, that should be an outrage. There was the Jerry Springer the musical. Do you remember that all?
Yes,
that, of course, had the religious movement up in arms that you shouldn't be able to say this. And I said at the beginning, Dave, well, look, you know, if you are wedded to, you know, ecclesiastically, spiritually, whatever, to a faith, then you should be quite relaxed about not. In fact, you should feel sorry for non-believers. You should feel sorry for people who lampoon it, not hate them, because you know the real story. You know that you've got the word of God on your side. So why would you care if some half-wit decides to have a pop at your religion?
Absolutely. And the big problem we have here is it's coming back to bite us again. We don't have free speech written in any constitution in the way the Americans are. I mean, it won't be long before J.D. Vance is out again saying, look, there's another example of free speech in Britain, because we don't have this protection of free speech. All this, it's the same way that privacy laws have crept in by the back door without Parliament ever producing a privacy law. It's being made by the courts, and this is the first step. They do this today. What will they do tomorrow, and where will it end?